Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Roka and today we're back with another episode of the Warframe Solo Steel Path journey. I hope you're all having a spectacular day. If you don't know what's going on, I suggest you go back to my first video. And if you don't know what Warframe is, I highly suggest that you go check it out. It's a space ninja game. Ninjas play free, sort of their catchphrase. And it's a good time. MMO, largely multiplayer online. And this video is going to have spoilers in it. So yeah, just be aware if you're not very progressed in the game, or you have not played the game, or you just, you know, doing your own thing. This video is gonna have some light spoilers. I mean, obviously this is just Steel Path, and for anybody who knows Steel Path, there's not really too much being revealed here, but there are a few choice things that have to do with story elements. So if you haven't played a lot of the quests in this game, I highly recommend, yeah, just tune out. Anyways, let's get into it. You kind of just saw me breeze through the Venus Junction because that's the first thing we gotta do. And yeah, we made it through the Venus Junction, no problem. I was honestly a little bit worried because that's the one thing I can't really test outside of you know, just high level gameplay. But regardless of that fact, we managed to pull that off pretty well. So we're just gonna hop right into our first node here on Venus, the Exterminate node, a classic game type. And I'm not too worried. After killing those first couple enemies here. I mean, I'll go into a little bit more depth about how my build is set up and what exactly I'm doing to achieve the numbers and you know, survive and live and kill everything. But yeah, once I see that, okay, these corpus level 103, 104, I can't actually see. It's kind of small on my screen right now. We're recording in post, by the way. But yeah, once I know they go down, this mission becomes a lot less scary, and so does the rest of the planet. Very different actually to our first video, where I had to sort of adjust my build a couple times. I guess that just comes with the territory of knowing what the challenge of Steel Path actually is. But yeah, we've got a lot of numbers on our screen, so I'm not too worried, because that's all we really need to succeed. Oh, excuse me, something in my throat. Anyways, yeah, today we are running through Venus, and we've got Nova Prime, the Gotfa Prime, the Dual Toxicist, and a custom Zal that I have that is called the Tooth of God, and it's just a custom dagger Zal. And those three weapons and Nova Prime it's gonna get us through Venus today. So sit back, relax, enjoy. What is there to talk about right now? Well, first let's talk about the delay. The delay between videos, and that's something I can't really avoid, just because I don't really know what I'm gonna need for the next planet until I finish the planet prior. And you know, I'm learning. This is an experience where I go through Steel Path on my own, and so, you know, there's a lot to uncover, a lot of intricacies and sort of build stuff that I really need to dial in beforehand. And yeah, I've spent a lot of time just, you know, grinding out not even the resources. Honestly, it's just Forma. That's been a huge limiting factor for me. Yeah, actually, I'm out of Forma very often because I use so much of it for the Kuva weapons to gain affinity and, you know, grind MR, but also actually put it on my weapons to upgrade it. So the Dual Toxicist is a great example of, I couldn't do this video any earlier than I wanted to because I didn't have a key ingredient that would have made it as strong as it is. And I'm sure as hell glad that I waited, because it made this mission and every mission that's going to come after this one so much easier. So much easier. These weapons are honestly such a sleeper builds. Like, I did not expect that when I first picked this gun up, but then I found something out, and I'll get to what I'm sort of alluding to in just a second here. But I found something out, and I'm so glad I kept this in my inventory and never sold the weapon like I do with every other affinity trash weapon. You know, you build it, you grind it to MR30, and then you sell it because we have limited inventory space in this game. Anyways, moving on to V Prime here, the first survival of Venus, and we're looking good, looking pretty good. This is where the difficulty is going to step itself up a notch, because exterminate missions are a little bit easier than the normal missions, just because all the enemies are spread out across all the tiles. And what that means is that, you know, you can kind of take your own pace. You can stealth it if you wanted to. Here, they know you're here. They're coming to kill you. So things get a little bit more difficult. You can see the density of the enemies gets a little bit higher. And the dual toxicist just does not care. It does not care. It rips through enemies like nothing. It's like paper. It's honestly crazy. I was not expecting it to do this well, but I'm glad it did, because ooh, dude, the numbers, man, they just look so fucking pretty, man. Anyways, what is this dual toxicist upgrade that I keep talking about? And this is one of the spoilers that I was alluding to at the beginning of the video. It would be the Incarnon Genesis. And if you don't know what that is, then this is your cue to leave or just get spoiled. I don't really care. I was waiting for my Incarnon Genesis to show up in the Duviri Steel Path circuit, which is on a weekly basis. So I finished Steel Path Earth, and as I'm planning out my build for Venus, the next planet, I sort of landed on the Toxicist as my weapon of choice. One of the Gatva I think I knew for a while, but I had a couple different ideas for what I wanted to do for a secondary weapon. The main issue was that I couldn't use my Latum. The Latum has been carrying me through a lot of content pre-Steel Path, just because it's Incarnon and just crazy strong, but it doesn't have the right damage typing, and so I was a bit worried it would kind of fall off here, because it's impact and radiation damage on the Latum, and that's just, we don't get any bonus there, which, you know, isn't horrible. I mean, impact damage has its uses, so does radiation, but I really wanted that puncture damage, and so I think I was bouncing between the Aphurus and the dual toxicist. And once I figured out, oh, there's an Incarnon Genesis for the dual toxicist, I had to go for it. I don't think it was just the fact that it was Incarnon. I think it was the actual description of this particular Incarnon that really sold me. And it's the fact that when you activate Incarnon mode on this weapon, the bullets ricochet. And you've been seeing that this whole time. It's not just AoE. No. It's straight up ricochet. So these are bullets hitting multiple enemies several times. Yeah, it's... The concept was really fucking good, really strong, and in practice, it is really fucking good and really fucking strong. There are some interesting ways you could be building the Incarnon, specifically, like, you know, the different levels of the Incarnon have a lot of variety in how you can actually build the thing. I opted for a crit punch build, so I really don't have any status on this. No extra status chance, no extra status damage, just raw damage. What the fuck? By the way, I got stuck there. I don't even know how. not going to question it too much. Just raw damage and crit chance and crit damage. And obviously, and not obviously because you haven't seen it yet. Sorry, excuse me. This is the trouble with doing things at post. I don't know what you have and have not seen. I do know what you have and have not seen. I forget what you have and have not seen. Big difference there. Anyways, yeah, I have a Riven on this, and the Toxicists are a 5-pip Riven, so it's really strong Riven. But the Riven has more crit damage, more base damage, and damage to Corpus. So if you're wondering how I got these just insane numbers, that's how. It's just a copious amount of base damage, and I think it's up to a 5 times multiplier on the crit, which frankly is not that much, but considering without the Riven and without the Incarnon, it only gets up to a 3.2. You know, that's math. That's 2x more, but when it comes to crits, that's a little bit more than 2x because you're seeing a lot of orange crits here. I have galvanized crosshairs, so headshots kind of affect the crit chance a lot. But orange crit is 25 times the base damage with a 5 times multiplier.
Oh god.
So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I really enjoy it, and it's honestly my favorite weapon in the game right now. I don't know what it is about this gun. It's so satisfying to use, and I mean the dual toxics. The next like 10 minutes are just gonna be me talking about these tool pistols, man. Base, right? Without the Incarnon upgrade, they have this weird unique mechanic, and when you get a headshot, it gives you 100% ammo efficiency, and I think it's like 50% toxin damage on your bullets, and I think double fire rate. And that's just stock out of the blueprint, out of the foundry. That's what you get with the dual toxicist. We're moving on to our first dark sector, which I think you heard me say in past, but this is post, and I have my earbuds out, so I'm not getting like weird feedback and like listening to myself as I'm talking. It's weird, but yeah, that innate ability is sort of synergistic with how you activate the Incarnon, which is just by getting headshots. And it also works in the Incarnon. Not the ammo efficiency, just because if that worked on Incarnons, it would be the most busted thing ever. But yeah, stock, you can kind of see the weapons open up and they just go crazy. I mean, they already do a lot of damage. I don't even have to use the Incarnon, really. But yeah, that mechanic is really interesting to me. And once you put the reactor on this thing, the catalyst, I can't remember which one it is. I always get them mixed up. But once you get that 60 mod capacity, this weapon really starts to take off. Like, you can get some really insane damage numbers. And it's a good time. It's a good time. It carried me through this, to be honest. Not to say that the Godfa isn't doing anything. I think the Godfa really is shining here. This is probably where it was doing best on the whole planet. Now that I've played it, this is post. Spoiler alert: I did it. I beat the planet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing this video. But yeah, the Godfa, also a very good weapon. But I think I have a weird philosophy with how I was building, and I just want to talk about that for a second. So the dual toxicist is absolutely my primary weapon here. On Earth, it was, the Rubico dealing, 1 million damage a pop. That's my main weapon, but I'm not going to use it primarily because it's a sniper. The Rubico does a lot of damage, so I can use it to kill whatever I need to kill, but I can't use it 100% of the time because low ammo count. I literally just can't shoot that many bullets. I wanted to switch up my strategy and sort of, flip everything on its head. And to do that, I went for a primary of my secondary, and then now my primary is sort of acting as my, you know, just spray a bunch of bullets and do procs. And this is where some builds and some people will play in a way where they use their secondary as a proc machine, and they will apply status, and then if something doesn't die, they will swap to their primary and use all the extra status damage to, you know, deal the final blow with their primary. I kind of wanted to go reverse with that, so now my primary is my stat machine, my status machine, and my secondary is the one that's going to finish everything off. A little counterintuitive because the dual toxicists do ricochet and they do hit a lot of things at once. But the idea is that the Gopva is strong enough on its own. And if you didn't know, the Gopva has a 30% chance, no, it's a 15% chance to deal a super red or a red crit after you deal a status. So it's a little weird in that you want to be doing status damage with the Gopva, so that way you can get the red crits and deal actual damage numbers, not just, you know, damage types. But it does give you this weird dichotomy of now you've got your proc machine on your primary. So what do you do with your secondary? You just build full crit and go all in on the damage. For those of you who don't know, there's a mod that you can get in Steel Path. It's called Galvanized Shot, and this particular mod gives you status chance, but it also gives you damage per status affecting the target. So I think it's like 30% damage. It means every status that's on the target gives me 30% base damage, which is a lot of fucking damage, especially if you have multiple statuses on the target. So I'm running that on both my Gotva and the Toxicist. And it basically just means, okay, the Gotva is gonna shred. Like, don't get me wrong, the Gotva goes crazy, but if something survives the Gotva and it's looking kind of scary, I can just whip out the Toxicist and get all those status damage, get all the status damage that I put onto it right off the bat. Normally you would have to sort of warm it up in a sense, where you'd have to shoot the target a couple times to get the full benefit, the full damage out of your weapon. In the case of the Gotha, that's exactly what's happening. It's warming up. It's proccing this status damage, and as you shoot and as you proc more status, more unique statuses, I should say, then it will ramp up in damage. And if by the time it doesn't die in a mag, basically, it's gonna have all those statuses on it, and I can just swap to my Toxicist, and it's ready to go at more than its base damage. It's already going to be higher than that, and higher than that base damage it's pretty insane. So I don't need to talk about this too much. Anybody who knows this mod probably already knows the power of it, but I just wanted to explain that philosophy that I'm going for here, where the Gotha is sort of my backup. It's my, dude, there's a word for it. I had the word for it. Dude, why can't I think? I keep calling it like stab machine, proc machine. There's like an actual word for it that people have been using in the community, and that I've been using up until now. I'm just having a brain fart. Yo, I cannot think of this right now. Warframe. I'm looking this up live. Live during my post recording. Does that make any sense? Warframe stat. Some people call it stat stick. Status. No. Because the stat stick is it's a melee weapon. Proc, no, it's a... Is it proc? Fuck, I can't think of it. Proc. Dude, all right, I can't think of it. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, it's one of those. Through that whole explanation, we just barreled through the the infested. Oh no, we're actually one more wave. No, excuse me. But yeah, I was debating between two different builds for my Gotfa. One of them was sort of this weird build where I just had a bunch of like random status effects on it. Like I'm talking gas, electric, and radiation damage combined with the base puncture damage, which none of which actually have any benefit towards the faction that we're actually going against, which is Corpus and then Fested in this case. But what's interesting is that it doesn't actually have any negative damage. They don't have any resistance to those damage types. And so what you end up with is 4 random ass status effects that you wouldn't really think to apply. And this makes more sense in a squad aspect where other people are probably running the correct damage typing, which for Corpus would be puncture damage or magnetic damage. Does 1.5 times the damage. So when everybody's running that for Corpus, I would just be out here with gas damage and lightning damage, which is just so random. And just the fact that it's not actually losing any damage, it's just adding to those diffusion. No, not diffusion. Galvanized shot. Yeah, that one. That one. It's adding to the multiplicative damage, or the additive damage, excuse me, without any downside. So I was going to run that, but because I'm solo, I just wanted to make sure I'm getting the maximum damage I possibly can, because nobody else is helping me out with status procs here. I'm the only one that's doing that. The primer. The fucking primer. The primer weapon. God, dude, I could not think of that. It's a primer weapon because you prime it for your other weapon to deal the maximum amount of damage. Dude, I don't know where that word went in my head, but it came back to me. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I just realized I'm bowing in the video because if you made it this far, thank you. Not many people make it this far into my videos, so if you're one of those few people, I appreciate that. You could also, if you could do me a huge favor and check if you're subscribed, and while you're at it, click the like button. It takes 2 seconds. It means a lot to me as a small creator, and it would really make my day. So if you could do that, thank you so much. Moving on to our first defense mission, and I actually really love this tile. But there's not much to say about defense in general. I was kind of in the middle of my my status rant with the Gatva. Yeah, we ended up just putting magnetic damage and fire damage, which I couldn't finish my rant fast enough, but it's good because we get magnetic. We get magnetic damage for the Corpus, which is a weakness for them, so that's good. But we also get the fire damage for the infested here. So due to the nature of how I'm sort of doing this series / challenge, because I have to use a singular build for the whole thing, I have to sort of make up for my own build's weaknesses in some fashion, and just having that fire damage on the Gatva means I could get lucky against the infested, proc a fire shot, and get the bonus there, because infested are weak to fire. So yeah, that made the last mission pretty easy, and the magnetic damage is obviously going to help a little bit here. But at the end of the day, the Toxicist is still my main source of damage. It does the most damage out of my whole kit. Just in terms of, well, raw coverage, the Ricochet tends to compensate for, if there are any low damage procs on the Toxicist, it's hitting multiple targets anyway, so whatever, sue me. Like, there's no way that's not going to kill a whole crowd in like 2 seconds. I mean, there is a way it's called really, really, really high level enemies, but we're not there yet. I mean, this is still Venus. This is still Venus, man. Anyways, Yeah, we've got the Toxicist built. It's got toxin damage on it, and that's really the main reason why I ended up picking it. Well, it doesn't have toxic damage on it. I need to proc that by getting a headshot. But yeah, toxin damage just ignores the shields and just deals damage straight to them. So if I get lucky and get one of those, that's always a good time. It's always a good time. But yeah, you can see my strategy here is sort of just use the Gatva. Use the Gatva if it's struggling to kill something, whip out the dual Toxicists and go to town, because that I know will kill it. And the idea being, because I need to actually charge up the Toxicist, I don't want to burn through my superior ammunition and then run out when I actually need it. And so just saving it for enemies that the Gava can't just take care of. Because if my primer weapon can just kill things outright, then why would I even need to use the Wammo combo of both weapons at the same time when I could just shoot them with the Gava? That's kind of the thought process. It's pretty common thought process. I just thought it was interesting. You know, I went flip-flop. Most people use their primers as their secondaries. In fact, a lot of people use both their primer and their secondary as a primer for their melee because of a mod called Condition Overload, which is 80% damage per status to type affecting the target, which actually that is optimal because there's no cap to that. When it comes to galvanized shot, there actually is a cap. I think it only stacks up three or five times. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but there is a cap. So it's why it's effective on its own, because you can just have it ramp up with the singular weapon you're using, and then it caps out, and then you're good. That's as much damage as you're doing. But yes, life is good. We don't really care about the melee too much in this run. In fact, I don't know what it is. I don't feel like I have good melee right now. My melee situation is kind of weak. And I think the reasoning behind that is how they've gated the melee arcanes. So, contrary to last episode where we were going in just dry as fuck, like I hadn't played Steel Path at all prior to that. Maybe just a little bit, but I hadn't like really capitalized on any of the benefits of being in Steel Path. Here, I've actually, you know, spent some time on Earth grinding out Steel Essence and making sure I can get arcane adapters on the two weapons that I'm using right now. But melee weapons are a little bit different because the arcane adapters come from Sanctum Autonomica. I can't. I need to read it out in front of me, and I just don't have that in front of me. You know what I'm talking about. That place with the Kavia standing in. And so I'm just not there yet. I haven't been there long enough to actually grind out the standing. I mean, I've been there for a while. I just don't play it enough to have the standing. Long-winded way to say I really don't have melee arcane adapters, and I could have had them prior to this. I just didn't get them, and so I'm sort of shooting myself in the foot there. But really, my melee weapons are just not in a great spot. Like, melee is such a weird thing because I'm a strong believer that melee is the strongest weapon type in this game on average. And the key word there is on average, because I'm sure there are plenty of ways to have it built where, you know, you're dealing stack overflow amounts of damage with your primary weapon. You know, you literally just can't beat that. But I'm sure you could do the same thing with melee. The only difference being, I'm pretty sure you can do that with a few more melee weapons than you can primary or secondary. But yeah, I think mostly it's been melee has carried me through a lot of the game up until Steel Path. And it's hit a point where I've just been able to find a lot more synergy with primary and secondary weapons than I have with melee weapons. I don't really have that kind of synergy built into my arsenal, and so I can't utilize it to the degree that I once could. You know, obviously I have Excalibur, and I could just run Excalibur with like a really disgusting melee build, and then it would be fine. But that's not really synergy so much as just playing Excalibur in a sense. Whereas here, you know, I've got a load of different status types, and I'm sort of covering all my bases, and I'm playing Nova, and you know, the Gava synergizes really well with Nova, actually. I'm glad it does, because I can kind of do the molecular drops. No, what's the name of the ability? I don't even know. The bomb. It's the one where you press 2 and everything just explodes when you shoot the thing. It's the explodey ball. That works really well with the Gava. Not so much the Toxicist, but that's okay, because I don't need it to work with the Toxicist. I just need it to work with the Gava. Yeah. That was the defense mission. Didn't really talk about that too much.
There was another person.
Whew. Yeah, man, these videos are basically just me ranting the whole time in post, because I will admit, okay, while I am able to kill everything, Steel Path is always going to be relatively difficult, at least in comparison to the base game. Enough so to the point where I actually have to focus, and I can't commentate while I'm playing these. Not so much while we're doing these missions right now. I mean, you're gonna see this is a capture. No, sorry, this is a rescue. We have a different strategy when it comes to rescues, okay? Damage doesn't really matter so much when it comes to a rescue. I am gonna get my Toxicist charged up, just so that way we can take care of anything as need be. But here's where the rest of my Nova's kit comes into play. So we're running a wormhole augment that gives me a little bit of, I think it's a 25% move speed when I go through my portals. So that's my 3. And we also have a Helminth substitution for Nesa's Flamewalker, which also gives me movement speed. So I'm just really fast. I'm just really fucking fast, and I don't care about any of the enemies on this level. We're just gonna teleport right past everything. We're gonna just run right by everything, and combine that with Shade, which makes me invisible. Can actually do some pretty consistent stealthing on this character, which is nice. It's not the only thing we're trying to do. Obviously, there's a lot of different nodes on the planet, so we're trying to cover as many bases as we possibly can with the build. But that being said, it does make missions like this and spy and capture, it makes them a lot more manageable when I can just zip through the levels and not actually have to worry about the hostage dying here. So in most cases, it might be a little bit more treacherous. You can see the hostage's shield has sort of disappeared off the face of the earth, but as long as we keep moving and the hostage keeps up, which it does, it teleports behind you, so as long as you keep moving, then you're good. And we blitz through that in what's the timer here? I can't read that. It looks like 2 minutes. 2 minutes for that level, which is just obscene. You can imagine the baseline for most levels is like 5 minutes, so that's a fast level. That's a fast level. Not as fast as it could be, but for a frame that can also just nuke everything, but also can run fast, but also can crowd control everything. I don't know. I really like Nova. I've had Nova for a long time. A very long time, actually. Almost my entire Warframe career. I think this is one of my first Prime frames. Frost would be my first. Frost was my first Prime Warframe. and then I think it was no, it was Frost, then Mesa, then Nova, in that order, I think. So yeah, my third ever Prime Warframe, which, you know, little MR5 Roka just running around with Nova. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the modding capability to really appreciate the strength of this character. But, you know, looking back on it now, I didn't know how much of a gold mine I was kind of sitting on top of, and then, you know, having the ability to do helmet things and you know, tweak it just a little bit, because I don't really like the one on Nova. It's kind of ass. There are ways to make it good, but it's not my playstyle, I guess. And so yeah, here we are running around as Nova. We've got it built so that everything is going slow, and normally I actually have it set to negative amounts of strength, so that way everything is sped up. That's generally because I'm doing infinite mission types where I just want to speed things up, because in this game time is almost quite literally money, and I don't want to be wasting an extra minute on every single wave in defense when I could just press 4 and have the enemies run at me that much faster. So I'm usually built as a speedva, but right now we're playing a slowva, just because it's Steel Path. And if I sped these enemies up, they would be shooting so fast, I would have no chance to react even, and I would just be dead. So we need the slow. It's actually pretty important on some of these missions. I mean, you'll notice when I'm doing a survival or a defense, I'm pressing 4 very often as opposed to my 2 and 3, and then yeah, everything is just slowed. It's also primed up, so I'm going to do more damage. Even more damage. Dude, more damage? Say less. I'm in. Count me the fuck in. That's what I'm here for. Okay, I want to see silly, stupid numbers on this game. That is why I'm going through this grind. It's what we're here to do. Now, we're going to do the Archwing mission here. And for those of you who've seen the last video, you would know Archwing missions are a little bit lackluster, but I'll just let you see this play out. Oh shit! my Kuva Grattler is level 0. Oh no. Oh. Level 55. It's okay. We're gonna be fine. So yeah, between this episode and the last episode, I was attempting to put more forma on this thing and get it up to speed with, you know, Steel Path. Get it up to Steel Path worthy levels of modding. And you could see that I forgot to actually level this thing up. And so we're just running around with a level 0 Kuva Grattler, and it's working in Steel Path. I guess that's just a testament to the weapon itself, or a testament to the mods that I have it. I do have one primed mod on it. It's the primed Rubedo barrel, but it's not even maxed out. So I don't know. That's just catalyst things, I guess, with one forma. Kuva weapons are weird like that sometimes. They're just really good. They're just really good. I genuinely, though, I think it's mostly due to the fact that in Steel Path, these Archwing missions are not really up to scruff. There's nothing really that I'm too afraid of, other than maybe my Archwing itself is not tanky enough. But because I have the Itzel, I can just go invisible and go invisible. They can't shoot me because I'm invisible, so how am I gonna die even if I have like 1 HP? I don't know. It's a little strange that they have these so underleveled, but at the same time I kind of get it, because as somebody who had to experience the pain of grinding through with the base Archwing set in Archwing missions, that's weird scaling to me. Okay, you first pick up your Archwing, you go into this level 1 mission, and you are struggling, okay? Like, you are in pain when that happens until you finally grind it out to level 30, and then it's like, maybe okay. I don't know. I never put reactors or catalysts onto my stuff, so maybe that was my issue, is not doing that right away. But once I got the Itzel and once I got the Kuva Rattler, this became, like, so trivial. I mean, I'm leveling my Kuva Rattler up right now as we're talking, and it's in Steel Path. Like, it's just weird scaling to me. I think they really should bump it up, especially considering the strength of this weapon, and sort of force you to actually go out of your way to get these upgraded Archwing weapons. Because they exist. They exist in the game prior to Steel Path. I mean, Kuva weapons are not particularly hard to get your hands on anyway. And we are going to be seeing more of them throughout the series. Actually, I've got a few
went better than I
Kuva weapons that I think I'm going to be using
Steel Path
for these videos. But
Steel Path Archwing.
anyways, I just thought that was funny that I forgot to even do the leveling up, because the whole reason I was putting Forma on it and leveling up is because I'm scared that these next missions are going to be harder than the weapon can handle, and here we are. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need the help, so I'm not going to be too worried about that moving forward. I am going to continue to level it up, because by the end of this, I'm hoping that it has some kind of a challenge. But I wouldn't be mad if there wasn't a challenge there. So, all right, moving forward to the Dark Sector survival here on Venus. And yeah, I might just let this one play out. I mean, there's not really too much to say anymore. I mean, I got most of my points across that I wanted to say. You can see here the slow actually coming in very handy here. I might have gotten overrun and tackled by a charger or something, but once we get the Toxicist going, it's going. And in this case, I'm not actually going to use the Gotha, just because I'm bored. Because I'm bored. I know I went through the whole spiel of, like, being meta and being efficient, but also why when I could have a variety in my gameplay and do a whole bunch of different stuff. You can see that's probably the first and only time I procced or primed the enemies in this video so far, or at least intentionally, spraying around at the crowd and not really going for kills, just going for statuses and then swapping. That's how we do it. That's how we do it here in the solo Steel Path. No, that's just how we do it in general in Warframe. That is absolutely not unique to me. I lay no claim to that. Oh yeah, underrated point about Flamewalker is that it's actually really good for these mission types, and I use Flamewalker on a lot of different frames just because I like the speed, but the actual flame damage, while it's not that much damage on its own, fire as a status effect is very helpful, because it causes them to panic. Like, they can't run after you if they're on fire because they're too busy being on fire. So forget about the damage. They're stun locked just because they walked. Because they walked and they weren't flying like an osprey or something. So it's interesting, and it especially is doubled down in effectiveness. Well, not doubled, but it does get that damage bonus against the infested here. Again, flame being the weakness of infested. So it's doing a little bit of extra damage, but at the end of the day, it's not really enough to kill anything on this mission. But it's very satisfying just seeing all the numbers, because you can see where the enemies are at. It's almost like wall hacking, because you just get all the damage numbers through the wall, and yeah, it just shows up, and you're like, hey, what's up? And then you know where everything is, and you can just hunt it down and deal the finishing blow. We got invaded here. Hunted. Didn't really matter.
No, that never gets old, dude. Oh shit.
Yes, dude. Oh my god. I was actually very nervous to do this video. Very, very nervous indeed, because I wanted to make some changes. Okay, so we can get into sort of more of a meta conversation about the series and I guess my channel on the whole. Never gets old. Literally never gets old. I don't care what anyone says. That never gets old. So last video, when I did it, it took me longer than I expected, and I ended up having to do a couple retakes of my footage and, you know, refining my build to get it to the point where I could do everything on Steel Path Earth with the same build, because that's the objective, is one build, one planet. There we go. Life's a dream. And I wasn't able to do that initially, and I had to spend a lot of time, you know, refining it and tweaking it. This time around, I didn't have that issue. Sorry, excuse me. I didn't have that issue. The point I'm trying to make with that is that I ended up skimping out on the actual video because it was so late. I did all the recording, and it was like 6 hours of recording and trying to get it right. And then I sat down and edited it, and also did the narration for that video in one sitting. And what ended up happening was I took some shortcuts. I skipped a couple things. Like, I didn't even include the build. I didn't even include the build in that video. I didn't do a lot of things. And so this video, I'm hoping it will be a little bit better. I was trying to make a point about doing something. If you want to see the build, make sure you stick around towards the end, not the end, but towards the end. I will actually be showcasing this build as we transition into our lovely little Nekros farming segment for this video. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, I'm hoping the quality of this video will be able to go up because I'm less tired. I have more time to actually, you know, refine this video, and I'm saying it now. There will be more to this video than the last, and I'm hoping for the next video there will be more to that video than the last, and so this series should be a steady improvement towards the video quality, and by the end of it, maybe it'll be a full-blown meme production with jump cuts every 2 seconds, and wow, I've captivated an entire audience. Whoa, crazy. No, we're not going to do that. That's just not my style. But yeah, really hoping I can actually squeeze that in, and I'm telling myself this now. If I don't do it tonight, because I'm about to go to sleep in like an hour or something, that's what I'm doing as soon as I set this to render and upload, is going to bed. If I don't finish it tonight, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to render it and upload it until tomorrow, where I'm going to finish it and then render and upload it. The only reason I don't like doing that in the morning is because I like to use my computer, and rendering and uploading takes quite a few resources from my PC, which is a little bit sad. By the way, I watched it happen on my screen and didn't even acknowledge it, but this mission was just so painfully easy that I kind of had to, you know, shoot some enemies and give them a chance to, you know, shoot back. Capture missions are incredibly quick with this build, because I just teleport in, I say hello, I shoot them down, and I leave. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. But yeah. Back to our meta conversation here. I'm hoping the quality of this video will be a little bit better. Just a little bit. I'm just aiming for slow and steady improvements, and I'm sorry to anybody who actually watched that video and was like, yo, this guy was talking about the build and didn't even show off the build. I just don't think it's that important to know exactly which mods I'm doing. I also like the ambiguity that comes with not knowing exactly what I've got. But hey, if you make it to the end of the video and you really do want to know my mods, then hey, I'm more than happy to help you out. More than happy to help out. More than happy to share. But yes, this sort of ties into what's going on with my channel. We're doing the mobile defense here, and while we're doing the mobile defense, I'm sort of coming back to content creation. I stepped away for just a second while I looked for a job, a paying job, excuse me. Content creation is a job, but I'm not getting paid for it, so kind of need to get on that because I'm not a student anymore, and I need money. I can only live with my parents for so long, you know. Point being, while I was looking for a job, I kind of focused on that and dropped the ball on content creation yet again. It's a very common theme when it comes to me and doing this consistently, is I tend to take breaks like that just randomly. Not without warning this time. I did warn you. If you were in the Discord server, you knew I was stepping away from the grind because I needed to get a job. And I went ahead and applied for a bunch of stuff, and nothing. And sort of this is what I was hoping wouldn't happen, is I was hoping I would, you know, step away for a week or two and come back with a job, and then I'd be on the content grind on the side while I'm doing a job and getting paid. That's not what happened, unfortunately. I applied for a bunch of jobs, and I've pretty much heard nothing back. Nobody has really contacted me. And so it's all right. It's whatever. It is what it is. I still have a bunch of money saved up from when I was doing my pet sitting. Those of you who have been on the channel for a while would know I've been pet sitting for, you know, a couple weeks at a time. Which I'm not. I don't know if I'm exactly done with that, but I don't have the same opportunities as I did before. There were sort of one-offs, and then they paid well enough that I could just chill for a bit. I'm still chilling for a bit, to be quite honest. Anyways, what does that mean for the channel? Well, you're going to be seeing a couple of videos, and without making any promises, I guess all that means is I'm going to be uploading again. Starting with this, I've been playing a lot of Warframe, and this is what I have been working on while not uploading. Warframe is a game where I literally just have to wait. There's nothing I can do. I have to play the long game when it comes to Warframe. And that's just the nature of the game. In this case, it happened to be a weekly rotation that I just needed to wait for. It was a 2-week rotation, and literally earlier today I unlocked the Toxicist. No, excuse me. It was yesterday. And the last piece I needed was an XLS adapter, a weapon adapter. And that takes 24 hours to craft. So I crafted it, and the moment it was crafted, I was like, all right, everything good to go. Double checked, make sure everything was ready to go for this video. I sat down, I recorded everything you've seen up to this point in one take. And it was good. It was good, but it's the culmination of almost 3 weeks worth of effort. And you know, I've just been grinding, playing on the side, making sure that I have everything I'm going to need. A lot of it was planning. Once I knew it was the Toxicist that I wanted, I was sort of refining, and honestly, it was the Warframe selection that I was having the hardest time with. I didn't know which one I want to use because I'm trying to avoid doing repeat builds. As a rule, I'm not going to be doing the same build twice. Can I use similar weapons or frames from other builds? Can I use Nova Prime twice? Yes, but can I use Nova Prime with the Toxicist and the Tooth of God twice? No. So that's my rule, is I can't double down on builds. And all that means for me is I just need to be careful with what weapons I'm taking into where. And you will likely see the dual Toxicist again. It's really strong, and it's going to carry me through a lot of the Corpus stuff happening. But for my primary and my melee, it's probably going to change up, and also probably who I'm playing, my frame at the time. But you will definitely be seeing a little bit of repeating, just because I just don't have that many weapon slots. I don't think I could do a different build for every planet if I tried, just because I don't have that many good weapons in my arsenal. A lot of what's in my arsenal is really cracked shit, and then half of it is like good up to maybe level 60 or 80. Like I could do a sortie with at least 75% of my arsenal. You know, I like the diversity. I like to mix up the gameplay anyway, but it's not fully kitted out with like 5 Forma, a reactor, and an Exilus adapter, and you know, a stacked Riven mod with like 50 rerolls for the perfect Riven. That's like maybe 10% of my arsenal. What you're seeing in these videos is really that 10%, and it's steadily growing. That's my point, I guess I'm trying to make, is I'm not uploading, but when I'm playing Warframe, I am progressing. I do not mess around in this game, okay? If I'm on this game, I'm making some kind of progress, or else what am I doing? I'm just wasting time. I mean, yeah, you know, is that what gaming is? Are we gonna have this meta conversation about, is gaming really doing anything? I would argue that it is, and that's just not a topic we're gonna get into. I think that's actually that's a separate video I might actually make tomorrow or something, because it's something I think about a lot. And I also want to diversify from just gaming on my channel. I don't want my channel to do just be games. Sorry, I'm stuttering over my words. I'm speaking too quick. I need to slow it down. I need to be more precise with what I'm saying. That's how we do. That's good vocal control. In any case, what was I saying?
I think I only need one.
Yeah. So extraction, by the way, it's fucking, dude. I looked away for 2 seconds. I looked at the wrong enemies for 2 seconds, and the excavator just blew up on me. So I was like, oh shit. All right, we gotta actually focus up on the next one. This is probably about as sweaty as you're gonna see me. There's one more mission later in this run that's gonna be a little bit sweatier as well, but anybody who watched the last video should know what that is. A little bit better, but anyway, yeah, we're gonna be uploading some more videos, because while I don't have a job, I at least need to keep pursuing this avenue, and this avenue actually has the potential to get me paid. The problem is that it's just such a long grind that I can't afford to spend all my time on content. And so it's this weird position of, I game for fun, but I also game for content. And while I don't spend all my time recording and editing and uploading, I do want to spend at least a little bit of time just to, you know, keep YouTube happy, basically. Keep YouTube pushing me towards newer audiences, and keep my channel growing and improving and all that good stuff. You know, if I fall off the horse too much, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna try and come back, and the algorithm's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck, you haven't uploaded in a month, like, you really expect to just hop back in this and be in the game? And then the video quality is gonna be bad, and it's genuinely just not gonna be a good video, and I'm gonna fall off the platform. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to disappear. As long as the breaks I take I'm still here. Like, I'm definitely still here. Like, I'm thinking about YouTube and my content every single day. Like, don't get it twisted. I don't have that kind of time anymore. Because when I started this channel, I was still a college student. I didn't need a job because, you know, I was fucking doing school, and that is a job. Although I'm paying to do that, and yeah, I'm not getting into my school rant right now. But point was, I actually still had time to do that freely because, you know, as a student, I know when I can and cannot be slacking off, and in this case, slacking off is being a content creator. Not really, but it only takes an hour to record an hour-long video and then just upload that shit raw, which is what I was doing at the start of my channel. So in that sense, I think, yo, we've come a long way. Talking about improvement in this series alone, dude, my channel has come a long fucking way from where it was in the beginning. I mean, I was uploading pretty much just raw ass videos with like the bare minimum of editing. And now, I mean, this series still just raw footage, but you know what I've got? I've got music in the background of the intro. I've got title cards. I've got bona fide narration. Like, probably some point in the beginning of my career, I made it a point to not do post commentary, which I've since thrown out of the window. And if anybody ever finds that that quote me on that, and make me eat my words.
Maybe.
Because I love to eat my words. It's great. I really enjoy looking back and seeing what has changed in my mind. Hold on a second. This mission's getting a little intense. I almost died there. That was close. Whew. Good thing that didn't happen.
Fuck.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's my nightmare all over again. I can't even get into the mission.
I mean, just yeah, dude, I don't fucking know. The mission just started. There's just 4 enemies sitting there, and somehow I died. I did this entire thing in one take, one go, and then the interception mission shows up. There's 4 enemies in front of me, and I don't know what to do. I guess I was just fucking around trying to charge the toxicist, but I just couldn't handle it for some reason. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. If you watched the last video, you would know I had a few attempts getting really close to the end. So hopefully we do that in one shot. Anyways, sorry. I just thought that was really fucking stupid to do that. And my rule has been, if I die, it's a reset. It's not just a revive, it's a reset. But yes, interception. This fucking game type, man, it's the most try-hard shit, I swear to God. I think I got really, really, really lucky in this run, which you're gonna see. But yeah, sweating my balls off, like, perfect inputs. Precise gunplay. This is Valorant now. No. Yeah. I'm coming back. And I'm going to avoid making any kind of schedule, and I'm going to avoid making any kind of promises about how many uploads you're going to see or what kind of uploads you're going to see. Just because every time I commit myself to something, I don't know what it is with YouTube, but I just can't stick to it. I might do it for like a day or two, but it's happened like several times now where I'm like, daily uploads are back, I promise, and then I daily upload for like a couple days, and then I disappear for another reason. I'm like, ah, shit. Okay, so I'm done making that kind of statement. It is what it is. All right, when I upload, and it really is a side gig until I'm getting literally any kind of revenue. Like, if I got donations, fucking great, dude, I'm actually back. If I got ad revenue, fucking great, dude, I'm actually back. And that's the not motivation that I need, but quantification that's required for me to actually be able to do this as often as I would like to. Because if I could, dude, I'd just play video games all day. I would just stream all day, get donations, subs, fucking... Dude, I'd just game all day. That'd be my job. I'd be more than happy to do that. But I'm not in that position right now. But to get to that position, I do still have to upload, and I still do have to, you know, put the time and effort in. It's just I have to spread that time and effort out because I've got other stuff in my life that needs attention. For example, getting a job. You guys don't know this. You might know this, but I went to school for art. I dropped out of school for reasons, a multitude of reasons, but I am still looking for work in that field as an artist. And sort of what I've landed on at this point is tattoo artistry, which is its own endeavor. And if anybody knows anything about tattoo artistry, please let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to, you know, pull information from you. But my journey begins with an apprenticeship, and my apprenticeship begins with my refined portfolio that I don't have yet. And that takes a while to get to a standard that I'm happy with. I'm not exactly a perfectionist, but I do hold myself to certain standards in certain aspects. And when it comes to my artistry, I don't mess around. Like I'm not half-assing my portfolio, because that's essentially my job application, especially since now I don't even have an art degree. I need my portfolio to be banger, and my portfolio takes time, especially since I'm not too happy with some of the work that I have done in the past. Not to say it's bad, I've just grown out of it in a sense. I mean, anybody who's an artist could tell you they're not happy with everything they've ever made, even if when they made it they were happy with it. Things sort of just lose that appeal to whoever made them over time, unless it's like really genuinely one of their favorite pieces, like if they're actually proud of it. I imagine that will actually tend to recede as time goes on. The more I'm just creating things, the more I'm like just gonna be okay with things that I've made in the past. But I'm not at a point right now where that's what's happening.
No, we out of here.
And yay, we did it. We beat Interception. I don't know what happened there. We literally just got the most fucking insane spawns. Everything just spawned on D there, and that made my life so much easier with the Toxicist. Like, I didn't have to run around and recap things. I just got to kill everything. Very good. Very good. I really enjoyed that. Whew. Glad we got that out of the way. Don't have to tease or bait you with another half completed run where I just die halfway through. We can just move on to the spy mission and go forward. So again, similar tactic. Build up my charge. Just build up my charge, and I'm just gonna fly through this. And I really enjoy the spy missions. Spy missions are a lot of fun. I like the hacking, and I like the stealth aspect of this game. Provides a different challenge. A more controlled environment, if you will. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this play out. Spy missions are kind of fun. Yeah, I'm working on tattoo artistry and my portfolio in specific, so I can start applying for apprenticeships and, you know, work my way into that industry. So my plan is, first and foremost, get some kind of temp part-time job so that I'm not broke forever. And then from there, apply and seek out an apprenticeship so I can learn how to tattoo. And from there, start tattooing for money. So the problem with that being my career of choice is that I'm not making money for like 2/3 of that plan until I actually become a tattoo artist. But then it's going to be my career for life. And even if content creation does kick off for me, I won't neglect the fact that I enjoy being an artist and I enjoy being creative. I mean, that's, you know, why I'm also a content creator, is because I'm a creative dude. I like creating things, and content is one of them. But I'm still an amateur at this, and I can't expect that to, you know, support me. Although I would like it to. Anyways, yeah. Point is I need to be working and making money while I'm training to get a career. And between those two things, not nearly as much time for this. In fact, I imagine once I have a career and I'm doing tattoo artistry for a living, I will actually have more time to do this than I do right now, which is weird. Just because then I'm on the job and everything I'm doing is, you know, within my 8 hours of work. Or I guess when it comes to tattoo artistry, it's a little bit more freeform and not so 9 to 5 as most traditional jobs are. It's kind of how it works when it comes to commissions. Tattoo artistry isn't really commission based per se, but it is paid by the hour on whatever I'm happening to be tattooing at the time. So that could be a 2-hour session one day, and you know, tattoo artists make a lot of fucking money per hour, but that's because they only work a couple hours of the day sometimes, and they're not always working every single day. And the nature of that job sort of means one day you could be slammed and, you know, you're working the full 8 hours with breaks, and you know, it's a good fucking day. That's a good fucking day. And then that same client could also still need a couple more sessions because it's like this huge back piece or something. I can't imagine many tattoos really go over the 24-hour mark. Like three 8-hour sessions is kind of insane. Like that's a full body piece, and then after that they're gone. Like you're not tattooing that person again because you just tattooed their whole fucking body. Unless you need to fix something, touch-ups or whatever. But for the most part, it would be like 1-hour sessions, maybe a few of those a day. It really depends, and obviously I don't have the exact answers right now because I'm not in a shop. I don't have a license. I've never even stepped foot into a tattoo shop before. I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten a tattoo, a stick and poke from my friend, which was free, but I've never walked into a tattoo shop. I just know I think that's what I want to do because it just makes so much sense. It just makes so much sense. Now, I will say, something I've been working on since I've been fucking AWOL from YouTube is stick and poke artistry. Now, while I'm pursuing tattoo artistry as a career, that is a machine-based thing, and I'm going to do my apprenticeship with tattoo machines, and I'm going to host my career with tattoo machines because that is a standard, and that is probably the best way to get licensed. But what I've been working on my own is stick and poke tattooing, more formally known as hand poke tattooing. And I've just sort of been diving into the different aspects of that art, of that practice on my own. So I have fake skin, I've got ink, I've got a bunch of needles, and I've just been poking away. And anybody who knows stick and poke knows that's a very time-consuming task. And I've sort of just been learning the techniques, you know, based off of YouTube, based off of my own feel and trial and error and what works, what doesn't. A self-guided tour, if you will. I gave myself the resources I need, and I'm sort of just on my own learning. And that's actually how I know that tattooing is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, because it's Just so incredibly satisfying and gratifying watching this ink on a needle turn into a full-blown drawing or a work of art, or just a little doodle on the page, but tracing over my tracing with a needle and several hundred pokes into the silicone fake skin. It's very satisfying. I don't know what it is, but I bought this stuff just to test it out and see if this is something I was actually interested in pursuing. And it turns out, yeah, hell yeah. It's a lot of fun. So that's something I've been doing on the side. If you want to see some of that, I might actually start sharing some of it in the Discord server. So you can go ahead and click the link down in the description. Yes, another self-plug. I'm sorry, it's just what I've got to do because people don't check these things if you don't say anything. They forget. You forget. I forget. You forget. We all forget. It's just how this fucking platform works, man. We're just here to consume content, and we forget that supporting one another is a thing. It's all good. It's just how it is. Click the link down below if you want to join my Discord. On that same note, you can also join my Patreon as a member for free and donate if you want to. I only accept donations. I don't do subscriptions for benefits, in a sense. And I like that model because everybody gets the same stuff regardless of how much you're paying. And then those who want to pay or just get to know you're actually helping to make it happen in the first place. So yeah, enough of the self-plug. We're fighting the Jackal, the hardest boss known to man. And shit, this one actually took me for surprise, and given how quickly I was actually killing every single enemy in this run so far, only to approach the Jackal and be doing like fuck all damage, it was like, I was like, oh shit, I actually kind of got a little bit nervous because the Godfa just wasn't doing anything, and the Toxicist really isn't made for this fight. Because it's not a headshot, it's just going to be shooting a lot slower, and because there's nothing to ricochet to, not getting the benefit of the ricochet either. So it's really just not made for this fight. I mean, I think it still does end up doing more damage than the Godfa, but yeah, this actually turned into an ordeal, and I was a little bit worried of just getting shot down. Thankfully, the Jackal doesn't really do too much damage, even at level 105 or something, whatever this is. I can't... The numbers are too small on my screen. I can't read it, but... This part of the fight is still as easy as ever. Also, a little bit of a weird bug. Did I finish off the leg? I thought I did. Oh, no, that's next one. Sorry. Excuse me. Jump in the gun. Jump in the gun. Anyways, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Trying to get a job. Not getting a job. Pursuing long-term career goals. Basically just working on myself, man. It's very easy as a content creator to forget to take time for yourself. Because suddenly everything is about my next upload. And everything is about, generating interactions and generating good fucking content, which just is very life-consuming, man. Like, it's so easy to fall into the trap of just being way too involved in content creation, which is fine if it's like actually your job, but it's not for me, and that was my mistake. This is the bug. I shot that bitch down. That leg has no HP. I can't mercy kill it. I don't know what happened there. This 4-cycle fight ended up being a 5-cycle fight. I don't know what's up with that. Anyways, yeah, I mean, that basically covers what's been going on. Without going into too much depth or detail. I mean, I kind of just been ranting about it, but let's see, we got the stick and poke artistry, which so I can talk about my portfolio a little bit. I've been doing a couple things from scratch. I've had a few portfolios in my life, none of which I'm like overly excited about. But the main thing is my digital website, my digital portfolio, my website was, I lost access to it because I had it created under a student account, and so I just can't use that anymore. It's gone, and so all the work I put onto that site, I still have the raw files. It's just inaccessible from that domain. And so what I had to do was rebuild the entire fucking website, which I did from scratch. I didn't even like the way it was set up in the first place anyway. So I ended up just redoing the whole damn thing. So yeah, I spent the last 2 weeks building the site. Now I have to put all my work that I like into it and come up with new pieces of work, because I know for a fact that I'm just not going to be happy with enough of my work to really fill out my portfolio in the way that I want. But also, now that I'm targeting a tattoo artistry career that's pretty niche, and I don't exactly have any designs that are 100% related to that. And so I just want to come up with some choice designs specifically for tattoo artistry. Excuse me. Oh my god. Something about talking for a long time kind of just gives me like weird stomach gas. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, I need to come up with new digital work for tattooing that could be, tattooed. Basically, I don't really have anything that's specifically meant to be tattooed. It's all digital work. It's brand work. It's illustration. It's digital stuff that doesn't translate very well onto skin, and I recognize that. Like, I don't have any experience as a tattoo artist, but as a normal artist, I can recognize that tattoo design is very different from the world that I had been in, which was the world that I was in was all about branding. Nobody's gonna fucking tattoo a logo on them. Like, that is a brand sponsorship. Like, you better be getting paid hella money to get that shit tattooed on you. Don't get a brand tattooed on you. That's just weird. In any case, I'm doing that. I'm reworking my digital portfolio. I'm also redoing my physical portfolio so I can actually walk into places and show people my work, not just like on my phone or something. I want like a physical binder with pieces of artwork inside of it that people can touch and feel and see and admire and go, ooh, this guy's pretty good. Let's give him a fucking apprenticeship. So that's really what that's for. My digital portfolio is just kind of blanket. I need a place to put all my work for display. Physical portfolio is more of a, I'm going to show you this so I can get a job type beat. So yeah, that's something I'm also doing again from scratch. And I've started a new sketchbook, which I'm really excited about. It's I'm calling it Slow and Steady, and the whole point is I'm drawing my lines very slowly, very carefully, and I'm only doing it once. That way I can show some discipline when it comes to tattooing. See, it's all coming together. We've got a sketchbook that's very, very related to tattooing. I'm going to put that in my physical portfolio alongside some other more refined pieces of art, not just a sketchbook. Because the idea behind the sketchbook is that I'm doing slow and steady lines on the first try. So no pencil marking and no like drawing over and sketching, like literally like sketching back and forth over the same line to refine it. Just one try, and I gotta work with what I got. So I better take it slow and get it right the first time. All in the name of the discipline. Also, this treasure, so kind of this guy to just come and deliver me my coin back. I used it to free that Solaris United person earlier, and what do you know? We get our Zenith Grand and Crown right back, which is very nice.
Let's go.
Holy shit! We made it to the end of this part of the run. I'm gonna take my leave on this post commentary. There's still gonna be more to this video. Make sure you stick around to the end. I appreciate you all coming out to this video, but don't go anywhere because we're gonna have a chat about the build. So
Being ready for what's going.
okay, well here's the build we used. Obviously we had the Nova Prime, Galva Prime, Dual Toxicist, and the Tooth of God, which is a custom Zaw from Cetus Earth. For our Nova, actually have some just 2 Archon charts, nothing crazy. A little bit of duration and a little bit of shield capacity, just so I don't die. For upgrades, we have Rifle Amp, Escape Velocity, Intensify, Narrow-Minded, Flow, Vigilante Vigor, Continuity, Fleeting Expertise, Augur Message, Redirection, Arcane Rise, and Molt Efficiency. We have the Gotva, Chamber, Aptitude, High Voltage, Vigilante Armaments. For the set bonus, we have Radiated Reload, Primed Cryo Rounds, Thermite Rounds, and Vital Sense with Primary Deadhead. We've got the Dual Toxicist, which actually I have in Incarnon mode. So we've got the base damage up and direct damage up per status type. We've got minus weapon recoil, and we have the base crit chance increased by 20%. Pair that off with diffusion, galvanized shot, and crosshairs. And I've got this fun little ribbon here that may have made the difference between, you know, being blatantly overpowered and not. It's got crit damage, regular damage, and damage to corpus. It's a triple damage ribbon on a 5-pip weapon. That's all I'm gonna say. And other than that, then we have the Hornet Strike, Target Cracker, Seeker, and Pistol Gamut with a little suppressor on it. It's actually completely silent. They can't hear that. For Arcane, we have Secondary Fortifier. Just a little extra damage to the Overguard. Helps quite a bit. A little extra damage. It's 8 times damage. For our Tooth of God, we have Point of Wid Stance and Master's Edge, which we really didn't use this too much, so it doesn't really matter. We've got Covert Lethality, Rending Strike, Sundering Strike, Organ Shatter, Sacrificial Steel, Sacrificial Pressure, Dispatch Overdrive, and Gladiator Rush, with Exodia Force and Melee Animosity. And that was the build. I mean, we had a Shade, pretty standard Shade build, nothing crazy there. No, nothing crazy here either. It's not what we're worried about. No gear. The Itzel. And my rank is 0 mods for my cute little Kuva Grattler. But yeah, that's all we had. Nice. All right, it's time for the Nekros check. The quote-unquote Nekros check. I gotta make sure that I can still be farming, even though it's Steel Path. Got pretty good faith, though. Pretty good faith. It's not gonna be too big a deal, especially because we got this kind of a loadout. But yeah, as usual, we're gonna be doing about 20 waves of this just to see if I can actually farm it, see what the rewards are. See what the rewards are at this stage. Excuse me. How dare you knock me over? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. It's leaving me behind. Oh no. No. Fuck. Sigh. I could have saved that. God damn it. I just need to press 1. Press 1, man. Well of life is strong. Press 1. You shoot the thing. You get all your health back. It's pretty simple. Just didn't do it.
You're dead. That's cool. Pretty funny, actually. Keep these ones up. I've got a sanguine, a jade light. Oh, we're going up. What? Where?
Oh my goodness. Really gonna take longer than I expected. I disagree. I disagree. Oh, please. Hardest part about this is not knowing what the fuck I'm aiming at.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting?
Thanks, Nora. Shout out. I don't know where he went. Later. Get off the pod, you stinky, stinky motherfuckers. You're actually gonna heal my pod really quick. Thank you, Ancient Healer, for your services. Is this mean? Is this bullying? I don't know. All I know is that the pod needs some help, man. Don't mind me, just min-maxing my run. It's kind of hard to see that range. Should really make that visual a little bit easier to see. Shout out to all my Trinity mains. Alright. Alright. What? Wow. Touche.
I got a message. A massage.
5 more waves.
Doing alright. Doing alright. Damage is still there. Pod is nice and healthy. Not too worried. Stop it. You're supposed to be feared. Be afraid. Dude. What the fuck? I can't for the life of me hit a shot right now. There we go. He's just walking at me. Menacingly. Oh no. If we're lucky, we'll get one more of those showing up for the end of this. That'd be nice. Actually, I really do need the arcanes that they drop to max out my power. Oh, the Gotva. The Gotva fell off. That is what incorrect damage typing will do. Although I guess I could land a lucky fire crit. It's just not likely. The Toxicist at least does slash damage, which is nice. Nice in this scenario. Oh shit. My energy.
Down we go for the last 3 waves.
Oh, we got one. Let's go. Might even get another one. This is pretty early. Well, I can't see. Just spray and pray, baby. Keep spraying, keep praying. Gives them the drill. Just sit here and tank the fucking Jade Light, dude. No way. This arcane on the Toxicist is pretty nuts. Just deleting Overguard, giving myself Overguard is huge, honestly. All right, last wave. This was good. This was good. Got a lot of good stuff. We did die at the very fucking beginning, but it was just a misplay. It's alright. Took me a second to get warmed up. Actually, I did have to end up taking a break between, you know, everything earlier in this video and this run in particular. Ended up being a little bit too late for me. I just came back to it in the morning. In fact, I ended up getting a drop chance booster for my daily login, so good stuff. Made this that much more worth it. Numbers. Oh, we take that one more. Let's go. Get off me. Oh, shit. Easy. Easy. Whew, let's get out. Let's get out of there, dude. All right. Oh, shush. We got a bunch. Yeah, I needed these deadheads. But all the primary ones are good. Well, that's going to do it for this video on the solo steel path. If you want to take a look at my Nekros build. Oh, mailbox. Hold on. Hold that thought. Oh, it's Barrow. Barrow's here. Let's go. Want to take a look at my Nekros build? Here you go. That's the build. Thank you all so much for watching. If you actually made it to the end of this video, dude, you're the GOAT. I don't know who you are, but you're absolutely goated with the sticks. I wish you a very happy day, and I hope you learned something. I hope you took something away from this video. If nothing else, I hope you just had an enjoyable time listening to me ramble for 45 minutes. But, yeah, that's gonna be it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click the link down below if you want to join my communities, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.